What's going on, guys? I know it's been a while, but we are back with Interstellar Outlaw, Interstellar Bobo, and a new channel, Interstellar All Out, which we'll get into later. But today, we're here for Pizza Tower. Our video games art, in many generations, there has been great artists, from Salvador Dali to Pablo Picasso, and that's in the visual arts realm, to the Prince and the Trent Reznors in music, and even when it comes to film, the Jordan Peeles and the David Lynches. However, not many have really taken the time to look at the great artists of video games in decade to decade or age to age. It could be the silent, somber streets of Silent Hill, or the serene mountains of Skyrim, or even the loud and abrasive streets of Night City. There's a place and a peace of mind for everyone. The great game creators and the great games that have hardly been considered art for so long, for many years, they were just relegated to something adjacent almost to toys for children or to pass the time for the lazy and restless. And in today's society, I think that stigma has changed. I would make the claim not only have games become art, but something sort of akin to novels, something you would play through and experience, very similar to the way my grandparents might talk about reading Philip K. Dick, or something that they would read that's a sci-fi story that has no philosophical, political, or scientific value, but the value is the journey that you take when you read that book, or the journey that you take when you look at that piece of art or watch that film. That is what video games have become. Are you a fan of a book like Lord Lost? Try Skyrim. Are you a fan of the 48 Laws of Power? Try Civilization. Do you read things by Philip K. Dick? Try Cyberpunk or the Fallout series. These experiences not only captivate the things that older generations got from novels, but immerse you as the player, as the stories being told are your stories. The moments being experienced in time are your moments. I will go as far to say, not only are you experiencing the story and the moments, but also that experience in and of itself, that feeling, is a feeling often provided to you by art. The feeling of seeing some great architecture, reading a great book, and watching a great movie, combined into one experience, can be enjoyed as a video game. Of course, seeing a pyramid in Egypt is not the same as playing Assassin's Creed Origins, but seeing an artist's interpretations of things is never the exact same as the actual things themselves, now is it? Which is what makes it creative. This creative amalgamated experience are what we play when we play a video game.
Do you like how the art market is set up here?
How is it set up here?
How is it set up here? You could tell us more about it. Like who makes the decisions? The artists or their marchands?
Which decisions?
Decisions on the work that you make. Like what you have to paint or not, or how you should paint it, or where it's exhibited or not.
So what kind of experience do you get when everything goes off the rails? When the things we are seeing no longer make sense, or is no longer as straightforward as the pyramids of Assassin's Creed Origins, or walking through the streets of a fictional megacity like in Cyberpunk? What kind of things do we feel and experience when we walk into, quite frankly, complete nonsense? That is a game that will be a derivative of a Mario game. A game better known as Wario Land 4, the pyramid of nonsense, to be honest, but also a pyramid of intrigue and wonder. As a child, one of the games I played a lot was Wario Land 4. It started off following this strange looking character who was a big, obese Mario, with a better color scheme, of course. And in this strange jungle, there would be some Mayan looking pyramid with many mysteries. I was very intrigued by the things and the possibilities simply by seeing the visuals and the art, the aesthetic. The drowsy birds, the lush jungles, and the unique architecture that really did feed the mind. When the game starts, you're jumping into portals and paintings, and something very wonderful and similar to Mario happens. Each painting takes you into a new world. But there's a twist to these new worlds. These new worlds are a little bit different from Mario. They have a bit of more of a sense of urgency to them. Not only are you thrust into some psychedelic fever dream, but as soon as you learn about the frog switch, the countdown begins. You're immediately thrown out of this psychedelic experience and into a ticking time bomb, in which you have to completely run that same level you just completed in a different way. And as anxiety ensues, as you look for the sleepy key, because, oh yeah, you'll need that drowsy bird in order to get to the next progression or the next level, or even the bosses. You gotta find the nearest exit and that key while you escape a strange and alien land. Now this was an art. Not only did it give you that sense of urgency, but the whole alien land you were in, and this whole time, although there was a wonderful and beautiful serene feeling, there was a bit of an uneasiness and a bit of curiosity as to if this place you were in was truly a place anyone could even be in for a long time. And how long was it before this whole thing exploded? And yeah, engaging with this psychedelic and surreal world might have been a work of art, but also that feeling of anxiety and that feeling of turning the level into a race against time also became a wonderful work of art. And then there was the bosses. They had the most abstract design, from fighting crazed plants to fighting crazed vegetables, the things that would be somebody like Wario's worst nightmare. And when I say that, no, I'm not talking about his size. I'm talking about an enemy of Mario who seems to be a heavy meat eater. But these enemies often not only look like they came out of a Wario world or a strange world, but also something that you would see in Courage the Cowardly Dog, something you might see in the Powerpuff Girls or Samurai Jack, something with more of a little twist and more of a surreal experience to it. I'm not sure if it was the use of colors, the abstract imagery, or the mysterious level that lied ahead, but this level could have any manner of twist and turn. However, years later, and many years later, it would give birth to another mysterious land. Very far away this time from being a Mayan temple, it would give birth to a leaning tower of pizza, giving way to some equally mysterious 90s looking pizzeria with very jamming music, and some haunted pizza tower with some mysterious strange purple spirit. And also another strange man who likes to yell and scream a lot. This would be Pizza Tower, and this man would be Peppino. Something that, if I had to compare directly to art, would not only be surreal and abstract, but also has very great sound design. So how does all of this transfer over to the game? Pizza Tower is a surreal and sped up Wario tribute featuring a lot more. I would say the game at a glance is clearly inspired by Wario, and it takes concepts like the countdown, creative design, the big main character, the very loud and shouting at a 10 energy wise character. Heck, if you've ever sat idle at the main screen of this game, you see Peppino staring at you with his big blank eyes and a very grim face, and it feels as if he's staring at you. That's because he is. And if you wait long enough, you'll see what happens, and the game will close after this. I was legitimately taken aback by this and confused. I thought that my game was glitched, and after a certain while I was like wondering why I couldn't move or engage in my controls anymore before Peppino did his Peppino thing. This goes to show you just how much thought and love was put into this game. It's not only the Wario tribute that people have wanted, but a very serene piece of art and a surreal piece of art. From the hand-drawn worlds to the enemies revolving around pizza and Italian culture, you can even tell that a lot of care and love was put to this. The gameplay is something like a mad Sonic dash straight to the end. The ingredients dipped into a little head bashing of health inspectors' worst nightmares, meaning you head bash some rats while preparing for pizza time. And once pizza time hits, that's it. That's when the adrenaline pumps up. And you make an even madder Wario, make an even madder dash to the end of the level. But the interesting twist, just like in Wario, you explore the same level in a different way. You get to listen to this riveting soundtrack while you do. And you might have been listening to something chill before, something groovy before, but once pizza time hits, it's that adrenaline pumping pizza time music, and the countdown starts. And there's a certain way they make you engage with the level that makes you not only test your limits, but see just how excellent they've designed these levels in order for you to even be able to do this. The movement in this game is immaculate. I played this game in order to move better at Brawlhalla, which sounds ridiculous, but it actually helps. But the way you move in this game and your timing has to be just right. I mean, there have been plenty of times where I'm making a mad dash, it's pizza time, and I'm stuck on one part because I'm moving so fast I keep hitting the roof, or I'm moving so fast I can't make the proper jump or do anything like that. But the better you get at the game, aka getting good, the easier it'll be. And it just shows how really good that these levels are designed. The only time I enjoyed this game more is when I was invited by an uninvited guest to an all-out scrap. The guest, better known as a boss battle. After completing parts of the tower, you have to engage in a boss battle, and man, these are actually really, really fun. From these uninvited guests trying to prevent you from getting to the end of this pizza tower so that you can have a successful pizza chain. Are these guys employees of Little Caesars or CC's or what? These pizza fights are extremely fun and extremely engaging. I really love the cowboy, the tomato. The cowboy was probably my favorite one. And I gotta say, I played this on my hit pad, which is what I usually use to play fighting games. It was so fun on the hit pad. I can't play it on the controller anymore just because it was very engaging and very fun. And blow for blow, you actually feel such an impact, and you feel the movement, and it's very engaging. It's very fun. It actually feels like I'm playing an arcade game, and I have never been to an arcade. I'm not old enough to have done that, but if this is what it was like, I could see why people were spending quarters and stuff like that to play these games. Another big highlight of this game, while I'm at it, is the soundtrack. It's funky, it shines, it sounds very 90s and 80s inspired, and it feels almost as if I'm watching a late night fever dream on Adult Swim back in grade school in the 2010s, and Robot Chicken is up next. The fact that it can take me to such very specific moments should let you know how great this soundtrack is. as I've been playing the game and as I've been exploring indie games, I truly can appreciate the love that are put in games like this and Blasphemous, and the music seems to be a core value of these games. It's not just some miscellaneous thing thrown in there that's optional, like with a lot of AAA games these days. But it takes me back to when AAA studios did experiment with games like Silent Hill, where the soundtrack is integral to the experience, or Resident Evil, again, soundtrack integral to the experience, or even those legendary Donkey Kong Country tracks, things like that, that really immerse you truly in that experience. And Wario Land 4, great soundtrack, check it out. Game soundtracks have become kind of boring to me, and I'm a musician, and a lot of popular music to me is being primed for AI, but that's a discussion for a whole other video. We're talking about pizza time now. But outside of that, this game truly immerses you, from the space music for the space tracks to its cartoonish aesthetics and its 90s cartoon, 2000s cartoon vibe with its 90s and 80s inspired soundtrack. It truly immerses you in what it has to offer. Art often challenges us and our perspectives, or at least that's what it should do. In an era where attention-seeking, making the shiniest and loudest thing has become commonplace, I believe Pizza Tower stands out. It's a token not only to early 2000s, 90s, and 80s, a time and place where art was doing that and creativity was in the forefront of a creative's mind, but a time where marketing hadn't dictated and conquested the whole market, rather, and CEOs didn't try to recreate the same thing in order to push money and profits, but people made what they love. And Pizza Tower, as I've said so many times, is a labor of love. It's something filled with so many cracks of perfect imperfections, and the music is exquisite, creative and beautiful on both sides, but it's also a token and a tribute, and a great tribute to its roots that doesn't copy, but advances on a formula. If you want a great experience, and if you grew up playing Wario of any kind, check this game out. Pizza Tower, amazing game. And before I close this video out, I want to thank the patrons, which I'll be leaving at the end of the video. Special shout out to Grimhilda for being there to support us all the time. And I also want to mention Interstellar All Out. This is going to be a fighting game channel, which I'm really excited to make, of content that I want to put out but doesn't quite fit this channel and could come out a little bit more frequently than stuff on this channel, where I don't have to sacrifice quality on some of these longer thesis videos that I've been making lately, and that I plan to continue making on this channel, that I want to put on the other channel, Interstellar All Out. It'll be primarily stuff about fighting games, fighting game mechanics, fighting game characters, and if you love fighting games, basically that'll be the channel for you. And then I'll also obviously working on a project for my music brand, Ramses, as well, and we'll keep you up to date on that. So stay tuned, and we appreciate you guys for supporting Interstellar. Peace.